You're listening to episode 61 of Lifestyle Locker Radio with Dane Johnson.
When it comes to our health, we just think, oh no, if I can't take one pill and I can't fix it, it's not possible. And it's such a state of ignorance in our society that we've been fed this fear that if a doctor can't inject you with something or give you some kind of magic pill, then you have a chronic incurable disease. And that's just an absolute falsity.
Hi, I'm Dr. Josh Hand, and welcome to the Lifestyle Locker Radio, where we dive into what makes an awesome lifestyle. From relationships to money mindset, nutrition to fitness, emotional health to peak performance, we bring you on an amazing journey to unleashing your human potential. So before I give you a little bit about Dane Johnson, he's a pretty cool guy, very inspirational actually. You know, when I met him in person and we were chatting, his story was so cool that we had to have him on the podcast. We just had to. And going from what you're going to hear, such a sick person, almost near death, to what he is now, what he looks like, what he feels like, and what he's functioning like, his health is quite amazing, quite astounding. So you definitely want to listen in and learn on this one. So Dane is a Board Certified Holistic Nutritionist and the founder of Crohn's Colitis Lifestyle. Dane was inspired to build CC Lifestyle after experiencing a near-death experience, like we just spoke about, with Crohn's colitis himself, dropping to 120 pounds, losing the ability to walk, and battling depression. When Dane decided to take his health into his own hands, he was able to put himself into remission, gain 55 pounds of lean muscle, and build a thriving career as a speaker, author, health coach, and model for a self-empowering lifestyle. So here he is, without further ado, Dane Johnson. Right, in the locker room, everybody, we have world famous Dane Johnson. Yeah. Many of you may actually know him from his past life, right? But I think a lot of you are going to love this, the guy that he evolved to. So Dane, welcome.
Thanks, Josh, man. Thanks for having me, man. It was crazy meeting you the other week and just talking about some of our commonalities and where we'd like to see things go, what we're excited about. You know, I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, well, we're glad. So let's hear. I want people to kind of know your past a little bit. I mean, it's I don't call you a supermodel. I don't know, supermodel, right? I know, like when we met, my wife's looking at it and going like, "Wow, who's this guy?" I'm like, "Oh, great," but nonetheless,
it was the 2-inch boots. 2 inches I got from the boots there, Josh.
Exactly. I know you got like an inch of height on me, man.
You know, shoulder pads.
Exactly.
Face moisturizer. You know how it goes, Josh. It's all the male tricks we all know.
Very cool. So let's hear a little bit about your past and then your journey to where you are. I mean, as an expert in health now. That's a vast. You had to go through a big valley to get to where you are now.
Huge. And that's the thing. I've never been an academic expert in my life. I've been a philosophical, I would say, or like a experimental expert where what's made me different is not, 20 years of school with a PhD, but the experience of going out there and actually living it, not just talking about it or being theoretical about health. And that's why I say, our adversities and our pains are really gifts because they become passions. All of us wake up and we're looking for something to care about. And it's really hard to care about something that hasn't really hurt you or hasn't gotten through your shield, right?
Yeah, totally.
So when it does, it can be a true gift. It can be the catalyst that defines your life. And I think that's what kind of happened with me. I mean, I started out as just a small town kid from Virginia. I was from the sticks. There was a farm right next to my house. We had a gravel road. People liked the Washington Redskins and to drink beer, and they didn't know anything about natural medicine. I didn't know anything about natural medicine. I grew up eating Papa John's, Domino's Pizza. I worked at Papa John's. We would eat double quarter pounders at McDonald's because we wanted to gain weight to be bigger. Like the male ego's finest time in life. Like, I should have gotten
right.
I would drink 4 whey protein shakes a day from GNC with creatine and glutamine and a natural test booster, all this stuff to gain muscle and be strong. I mean, that's what I was raised around. I was raised around this tough guy mentality of athletics and just being a performer. And when I looked at modeling, I mean, I was 23 when I started modeling. So a lot of people go, "Oh, you were born good looking and you were born with getting paychecks for modeling." I go, "No, no, no. I was a businessman. I bought a company when I was 19 years old and ran it for 4 years in college. Went to college and got a business degree. I was a businessman turned model. And what I realized is I could use my business sense to say, hey, how can I make a larger amount of money and free up my time and travel the world? And I said, well, I'm 6'2", I like athletics, and I think I can do this. So I took a one-way flight to Los Angeles. I didn't just call up an agency or something like that. No one found me in a mall. I flew my butt out to California.
Yeah.
I had no money. I had no friends. I had no family. And I didn't go out there for modeling. I went out there for a lifestyle. So I'm on the beach, growing my hair out. I'm getting tan. I'm working out twice a day. And, I started just meeting people, and I met a photographer, and then I met an agency, and I signed with one of the largest agencies in the world and started working. And I worked a lot of good kind of commercial stuff. Don't get me wrong. I wasn't doing a bunch of Gucci and this, high editorial Paris model. I was doing a lot of, commercial catalog, Gap, Nautica, Tommy Hilfiger, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a huge blessing in my life. But at the same time I got signed as a model, I had gotten diagnosed with ulcerative colitis, which later was diagnosed with Crohn's, and then diagnosed ulcerative colitis, and then diagnosed Crohn's again. And so I just started saying I have Crohn's colitis. And some people some out there are going, you can't have both, all that. Well, that's what I mean when I say Crohn's colitis. I've been diagnosed with both, celiac. They just knew something was messed up, and it was killing me. So it was an ironic thing in life where I had this huge blessing where I could make thousands of dollars in one day of work shooting for big companies all around the world. But then I had gotten diagnosed with a fairly shameful and unknown disease, what affected your gut and your bowel movements. So for years, I was basically stuck in a prison where I couldn't really eat much food. I would have dramatic symptoms. Like I think there's about 9 months straight. At one point, I didn't sleep through the night. I wake up to throw up, to have 3-4 bowel movements, chronic diarrhea, bleeding in the stool. I dropped down to my lowest was 122 pounds, and I'm usually about 175, 180, 6'2".
6'2", that's
yeah,
tiny.
Yeah, 122 pounds, and I mean I'm not that big of a guy. Some guys walk around 210, but I lost a lot of weight. At one point I lost the ability to walk because of such muscle atrophy. So I was kind of just caning and limping around. I just bed rested basically. I was on so many drugs. I was put on all of the immunosuppressants: Humira, Remicade, 6-MP, Liauda, 5-SA.
Some of the strongest drugs in the world too. That Remicade, my God.
Oh yeah, exactly. I mean, the immunosuppressants are no joke. And I was on a feeding tube for a while called TPN. I was on chemotherapy because I was the climatic point. This went on for a number of years, but 6-7 years of being very sick, hiding my disease from my agencies, trying to figure out how to make money. When I got really sick, I was actually at a fashion show, had a huge episode, drove myself to the hospital. I mean, I was completely losing my vision while I was driving to the hospital. Stayed there for 6 weeks and lost 60 pounds and nearly died in that hospital. And that was, that was the climatic point. And when I was there, what saved me was the chemotherapy. It turned out that there was they believe a viral infection in my colon that they thought was killing me. Now, I tested negative for everything they could find, but there was a doctor in Florida who said you won't find it in the blood. It's nothing in the blood. It's something that you get with, like some people with ulcerative colitis and Crohn's can be susceptible to or something. I don't know. I wasn't very aware during any of this time. I was on legalized heroin called Dilaudid.
Yeah.
And so once I took that, I became conscious again, and I started waking up. And then I checked myself out of the hospital, and I worked with my naturopath professors. And I spent a year in my house not doing anything. mean, people think that this was all glamorous and all that. I told, no, I was not working. I had to turn down a bunch of jobs, went to the hospital. I mean, I came from a fashion show. And for a year, I sat in my house and I worked on healing myself. But the good thing is that I was halfway through natural medicine school and I was able to work at home and I was able to work with my naturopath professors who would kind of talk to me. Some would even come see me. Got really close with that whole community. And that was where I started gaining an extreme faith on what's possible because I was surrounded by other people who were trying to heal themselves naturally of other diseases. And we were learning about how food or supplements or meditation or mind-body connection could affect your health. And just like when you learn, I'm sure you as a guy know about building muscle, right? If you say, hey, I want to get my arms bigger, it's not just one thing. It's everything combined. The protein, the amino acids, the way you exercise, the consistency of it, the sleep, right? The vitamins, the minerals, but we just say, yeah, you got to do all these things, but you can gain muscle. Sure. We're doing 10,000 reps to gain 2 pounds of muscle, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But when it comes to our health, we just think, oh no, if I can't take one pill and I can't fix it, it's not possible. Yep. And it's such a state of ignorance in our society that we've been fed this fear that if a doctor can't inject you with something or give you some kind of magic pill, then you have a chronic incurable disease. And that's just an absolute falsity.
Yeah.
And your health is your personal journey, and it's your state of mind that controls that. And it is each one of our responsibilities to decide how health will affect our lives and how we see it. So one of my goals is to change the perspective of what health is and what that means, because I don't believe that a diet or an investment of your money into your health is a sacrifice. And everyone in society sees it as a sacrifice. I'm going to do my 4 weeks of gluten free. I'm going to do my fasting for 2 days. I mean, that's all well and good, but it's all based on sacrifice. I'm going to give up all these pleasantries so that I can see a trend in my life, and then it'll be all okay. And you have to take that with a grain of salt, because what it really is what I want to help people understand is that everything you do is an investment in who you actually want to be. All of us, if I said, everyone listening, we can all agree we want to make more money, probably, right? If you don't want to make more money and listen to this, I suggest you just move to Africa and start helping baby children, okay? Most of us can agree that we want to live a happier, like more fruitful, more energetic, more aware, more conscious. We want to be more connected with loved ones. We want to look better, right? We all want these things, but we don't want to sacrifice our lifestyle to get them. And that's where I see a lot of investment, because to get a lot of things you want in your life, that's where I get my joy. That's a lot of my ice cream. That's a lot of my Kit Kat bars, is the fact that I'm drug free, I'm symptom free. I can travel the world, and I'm not constrained by society's limits of health or a lot of times finances, because I'm an entrepreneur. I work, 18-hour days to figure out living the life I want to live. So that's kind of the slogan of my business. Is the root of it is changing the perception, the mindset of what you're actually doing, and seeing that these are actually a catalyst to make you healthier than the healthy and give you the life you wanted. And I ask everyone who's listening to this podcast to say, if you were perfectly healthy and you had $5 million in the bank account, what kind of life would you want to live? And some of you would say, well, I just sit around on the couch for a week or for 5 months and laugh it off and buy gold chains or whatever you're going to buy. And, you say that, but in reality, even there is no contentment. We all yearn for something more. Maybe you'd want to join a yoga class. Maybe you'd want to go live on an island. Maybe you want to go start a school for children. Maybe you'd want to save the planet. There's a lot of things you want to do. So the things you actually really, really want to do long-term with your life are the exact same as the things it takes to heal yourself. You got to put yourself in an environment. You got to be connected and rise your energy up. So eating healthy is not just about health and the worry of disease. It's the investment in your passions.
Yeah, so totally. And I want to circle back to something that I think is important, especially for I would say the majority men, but both men and women, that there's a real big disconnect. They think if they're fit, they're healthy.
Yeah.
Right? Isn't that crazy? I mean,
yeah.
We think about this. I have, and then getting into food, I have patients that, that want to either lose weight or they just want to start shifting their lifestyles. They start seeing me as a chiropractor and I go, well, you should try doing these few things or just changing their diet. if you will, just their eating habits. So like what, might want to say avoid like dairy and grain just try it for like a week. Like, what am I going to eat?
Yeah.
I go, what do you mean? What are you going to eat? Whatever it's called food, but like we're so like connected to like such poor habits. And I don't want to blame the people. I mean, it's been society for 100 years, right? We've been creating this like since like the Industrial Revolution, this crappy food and poor quality, nutrient dense food that we are where we are.
Yeah. And that all started with a sense of convenience. Industry created convenience, and convenience was worth money because it freed up our struggle. Don't go out there and pick your wheat. We'll bring it to your house. Don't go milk your cow. We'll bring you a house.
Yeah.
Bringing milk to people's house became so popular, they coined it the milkman.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
So convenience is a really good thing, but I think what's missing here is looking at yourself and just asking what you want to achieve and how that reflects into your daily regimen of how you want to live. I enjoy eating organic. I enjoy having vegan meals. I enjoy having some meat-based meals as well. I don't really like this whole never thing. We get very extreme as well. Like, I have to be this way and I'll always be this way or else I'm a failure. No. Life is all full of colors and movements and going each way. Excuse me. And, when people say, what do I eat? It's a lot, and it's true. And this is very hard for people with Crohn's and colitis or digestive disorders. It's a lot about what you're not eating. And when you take away all the things that you shouldn't eat, you realize that I don't know if I can eat anything. And the biggest secret I learned when it comes to eating habits with gut health issues, it's not just what you're eating, it's how it's prepared, it's what foods you're mixing, and it's most importantly the state of your body. So your gut works much like your knee or your elbow or your shoulder. If it's hurt, if it's inflamed, if it's torn, you cannot go throw a baseball. You cannot go run a mile. Now, does that mean you can never run a mile again? No. You just have to monitor it, do some physical therapy, elevate it, stay off of it, give it time, and slowly work it back in. A few years ago, I couldn't even eat mashed avocado with lemon. I was fasting. I couldn't eat anything. Today, if I wanted, I could eat a cheese pizza with a 6-pack of beer and I would be okay without any drugs needed. Okay? And I wouldn't be bleeding. I wouldn't be on the toilet for all night and day. I'd sleep through the night and I'd have probably 1-2 normal bowel movements still. I'd notice it for sure. But I've built the strength of my stomach or knee, elbow, any part of your body so strong again, and I've healed a lot of that root cause that my body now has a strong shield. So that's why I call my program Shield.
Yeah. So let's just jump back. So, you went from 120-pound guy to like 180-pound guy now, right? Like you were able to actually gain weight where the problem was you were just melting away, literally. Nutritionally, health-wise, everything was falling apart. So I know this was a journey to go on. When you started this journey, when you started to add these nutrients and these new things into your lifestyle, do you have points in your life or during this process where you're like, screw it, I can't do this. This is just taking too long or it's too hard people are listening are going to be like, there's no way.
There's no way. Yep. There's no way. And I really want to speak to each one of you listening and anyone who's resonating with this. For years, I felt like this was impossible and only the 1% could do this. And it was almost like a story people were doing to sell books. When I read the books of healing and I read all these magical stories of people reversing their disease, it just didn't seem feasible and I didn't believe it. And it's just like greatness. It's just like the same thing of people thinking, I want to be a millionaire or I want to be in love. I want to meet that one person. Like it's this figment thing that's really not realistic for us, maybe someone else, but not for us. And what it has to do is you have to make an agreement with yourself. One, start with self-love, and allow yourself to have faith, because faith isn't belief. Faith is just choosing to rationally walk forward, right? Mm-hmm. Faith and hard work create belief. Belief is the most powerful thing. You get to belief, you'll be able to do anything. But faith, you can't just choose faith. You can't choose belief. You can only choose faith. When you get to that point where you're looking at this insurmountable mountain, you have to make a contract with yourself that realizing that you are divine, that you are not meant to be sick, and that it's all about one step at a time, that you don't know step 4 until you know step 1. You will never get to step 5 until you get to step 2. Don't put any energy into step 5. Put all of your energy into step 1, and then put all of your energy in step 2, and forget step 4 and 5. That would probably be the most valuable thing I ever did. This is how I healed. 3 or 4 years I was sick, and I was trying diets, I was trying random drugs, and none of it was working, and I was just getting more sick and more sick and more sick. I went from the immunomodulators to the immunosuppressants to possible surgery to nearly dying, and I went to a modeling shoot. I was paid about $5,000 to fly out to Ohio and shoot all these clothes. I nearly pooped my pants while wearing about $2,000 of fashion clothes, while I'm getting paid to be a cool, hip guy. I mean, the irony in my head was unbelievable. I was like, this is the most ironic thing in the world. Here I am getting paid all this money, and I can't even run to the bathroom in time. And I feel like I'm going to fall over in front of this light. They're shooting pictures of me. I'm so skinny. I was covered in acne. I mean, it was unbelievable. I was still getting paid to model because I was hiding it from everyone. My agents, the clients, they didn't know, you know? So I came home, and I was so upset at how much this had taken over my life that I made a deal with myself that my number one goal was going to be to heal these symptoms. And I had tried enough. The failures I had beforehand had opened up a few little secrets enough where I could kind of look through the door a little bit and say, the door moved, you know, like you're trying to open it, you can't open it. But I saw the door wiggle a little bit. I go, huh, you know, I go to a doctor and say, hey, I noticed that when I don't eat certain things, the symptoms get down a little bit. Like if I don't eat till 6 p.m., my bowel movements go down. But if I have breakfast, I go crazy. So I just noticed that. And then I said, that's something. I can start with that. So I went home, got a machete, and literally did like one of those paper cutters. And I cut up a bunch of paper, and I went to Staples, got a hole puncher, and I punched 40 pages together. And I got a magic marker, and I wrote on the front of it, 40 days and 40 nights. And I just said, I don't know what I'm going to do, but for 40 days, I'm going to keep track of everything I do. So I just said, for 40 days, I am just going to write everything I eat. By day 3 or 4, that had turned into, I should start the morning like this. I should do lunch like this. I should do night like this. And I should go to bed at this time. And then it turned into, and then I was reading books of healing and taking that information and applying it to that 40 days and 40 nights. And it was all of a sudden, I had structure. I had a plan. I had a program. I was my own best doctor. My doctor's like, Dane, come in. We're going to look at you for this, you know, for surgery and all that. And I'm like, no. You guys wait. I got 40 days. Turned into 73 days. But in those 73 times, this is before natural medicine school and all that, I got my symptoms down to 3 or 4 bowel movements a day from 30. I gained 30 pounds, and I got off prednisone, and I started refusing my Remicade.
Yeah.
You know, and then you know what I did? I went and lived in Paris and Germany for 6 weeks on day 78.
Wow.
And I got a little more sick there, and, you know, and things happened there and all that. But it was like I had just, for those 70 days, I just made my number one goal in everything about healing. So I'd hang out with the friends who built me up. I hung out with my girlfriend who built me up. I talked to my family. I started gardening. I would say a prayer every morning and every night and say the purpose of my day. I started reading insatiably, like 4 hours a day, because I had a reason. I had a why to read. Why am I reading? To get information to add to my protocol. If you're reading just to read, you're going to get so bored, and so there's no reason. You need a stronger reason to read and apply.
The why.
Don't read for a goal. So anyways out there listening, just pause this real quick, get a piece of paper and pen, and just write down the 3 symptoms you're going to get rid of in your life. Maybe it's gut health problems. Maybe it's anxiety. Maybe it's a bad relationship. But over the years, going to natural medicine school, what I realized there was that everything is energy. This conversation is energy. That's why people are listening, because they can feel my energy through this microphone, these electronics. You know, that's why we watch movies, because we can feel the energy of that line. Even if we've watched that movie 10 times, we still want to watch it because we feel it. Everything is energy. The conversation, the food, the atmosphere, the people. And when you learn to identify the energy and say, is that negative or positive? And you say, well, I need to eliminate the negative energy and I need to build up the positive energy. You then can do what? The most beautiful thing in life. You can manifest. You can actually build something like a god. Like, I'm going to be 180 pounds in great shape. I'm going to work for myself, be a millionaire, and I'm going to have 3 kids and live in Paris. Ready? Go. And you can literally build that. I'm going to reverse my disease. I'm going to strengthen my relationship with my father and mother. I'm going to commit to living these types of values. Like, I'm going to wait till marriage to have sex. I'm not going to drink alcohol anymore. I'm only going to, I'm not going to smoke weed or something, or I am going to smoke weed, or, I'm going to go learn how to surf, like you can literally just think of something, and a thought is nothing into something. And then you can literally manifest it in life. But to do that, you have to balance your energies. See, it's not willpower, it's balance.
Yeah.
So you eliminate negative energy, you push forward and concentrate the positive energy, and you balance yourself so you don't get overwhelmed. When we sacrifice, we get overwhelmed and it's too hard. When we balance, you're smiling across that finish line. There are going to be tough days, of course. There's no perfect remedy for life. Life is like the bad makes the good, and the good makes the bad. They work together in unison and in harmony, So that's my philosophy on it. I think that's where my health expertise comes. Guys, does that mean I never have some alcohol, or I never go out and have a slice of pizza if I want it? No, my contract with myself is I've trusted myself to be responsible, and I do what I want to do. But I'm the one who has to be responsible or pay the consequences for my actions.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, totally. And I want to go back to the energy. I think is a really neat thing, because I didn't think our conversation was going to go here, but I love it. I'll age myself a little bit, but when I was in we'll say elementary school, high school, in a chemistry class, you say balancing things. I'm thinking in my head, I have like this triple beam balance where you're like, okay, I got to put this much grams of this on this and this many grams of this on this side. And same with energy, right? If you're going to have both of those in your life, you just need to decide which one you want to have more of.
Yeah. And balance it, and everyone says like, oh man, why does this happen to me? It actually can be a gift. I think that was a big trend for me, because once I did the 40-day journal, and that created a catalyst for me saying, this is an amazing thing. This is the gold of life, self-empowerment, health. So that's when I said that became a catalyst to go back to natural medicine school. That became a catalyst to start my own company. That became a catalyst where I've been able to help other people create their own healing protocols. And I've helped people avoid surgeries and get off drugs and go into remission. And it created a passion. When you grow up, you're always worried, what am I going to do with my life? How am I going to make money? What do I want to do? Do I want to be an accountant? What I realized is a lot of things we even think about doing are so distant from our own life experiences. I created a company out of my life experience. I never thought twice about not doing Crohn's Colitis lifestyle, because I had so much pain attacks, because I was lied to that I had no control over my health, that I had to get surgery at 24 years old. I was lied to. And that pain and that anger, I got into screaming matches. And this is where, Josh, I would drop a few F-bombs, but I won't. So everyone, you can imagine what I was saying to those doctors. Yeah. I was a self-made model, quit my corporate job, got a 2.0 in school, never academic, and I had people and teachers and professors telling me my whole life that I wasn't going to amount to anything if I didn't play by their rules and do it their way. And I've been doing it my own way the whole time, and now people are asking me how I did it. You got to believe in yourself. You're not perfect, and no one's better than you. Tony Robbins is no better to anyone listening to this subject. He is just so good at choosing things that give him new experiences that empower him. Experience is empowering. Thought can be like the worst thing you ever did. Overanalysis is, most of us overanalyze. Thought is only good enough to get you to experience something. Beyond that, it's a negative energy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so just if you're out there and you want to become stronger, get in the ring. That's it. Just look at something, make it, simplify it, and take an action. And then surround yourself with people who build you up. If this conversation is inspiring you to do, just realize what that just did for you. That just gave you energy. How? What? You're telling me right before you listened to Josh's podcast, you were tired and lazy and sitting, now you're peaked up listening to this conversation thinking I'm going to go take on the world? What is that? What changed? You actually got energy. That's a currency. You have energy in you right now. You're inspired right now. Why? Because you are listening and surrounding yourself with the type of energy of manifestation. What can you do with that rationally? You can choose to get yourself around that so you can emotionally grow all the time. Rationally choose to get away from the negative energy. Rationally choose to get in the emotional energy. Simplify the goals. Do not make them more complicated. I want to just right there. I want to gain 10 pounds. I want to lose 10 pounds. I want to have 2 normal bowel movements a day. I want to increase my energy. I want to increase my love life. Just write it right there. And then once you write it, write 3 problems and write 9 solutions. Always triple up your you should be thinking 10 times more about solutions than problems.
Good. You're giving some good golden nuggets here, my friend. I like this. But let's make a little U-turn for a second. I want to go back to the Crohn's colitis lifestyle, all right? Because this is something you've become, from tragedy to triumph, like an expert.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so for those that are listening that have that may even have either of these conditions or any of these crazy gut conditions, where can they find you to get help?
Well, right now they can go to Crohn'sColitisLifestyle.com. And right now we're doing a lot of consulting and implementing some ebooks online. So in Q1 of this year, we're going to be working on building up the daily blueprint, which is to show people how to build a daily protocol. So, and then because a lot of this is like, how do I take on this overwhelming disease? Well, you build a daily regimen. And that daily regimen is simplified into you just got to do A, B, and C every day, right? But that's based on an overall goal over the next 2 to 6 months to a year, right? So we have that coming out. We also have a traveler's guide to Crohn's and colitis showing people how they can travel from anywhere just to a local restaurant to out of the state to out of the country and things they can implement to give themselves the armor they need. And the great thing about this, guys, is this doesn't make you disabled or different. Anyone in the world can get great value from these goals. This is just about every single person's gut health can be gained or their health can grow. So people who have no issues are just as much on the hook for needing these things as us who are dying or not dying or having these problems. What I'm trying to say here is this is all good for everyone. That's the main point.
Good, yeah.
So we do consulting, one-on-one consulting. We have the ebooks coming out. And by the middle of this year, CC Lifestyle is only about 18 months old, maybe about 20 months old at this point. This year, we're going to be building a online Shield program where people can actually sign up and they can get a database of how-to videos, how to turn your home into a healing atmosphere, and how to build a daily protocol, and then have the option to hire a coach who will call you and help you work through this and create structure in your life, and also all the recommended supplements that I personally use. So with business, I'm a big fan of win-win scenarios. I believe that I could build $1 million business and save lives and make it the cheapest, most authentic way possible. I think that digital business nowadays allows us to do those things for people where I can say, hey, Tom, you have Crohn's. These are the products you should look at, and I can get you the best price for them. And we can build a community through these investments to help each other grow. And what I love about this idea is you spend $200,000 applying to Harvard. You don't just give them $200,000 and they let you go. You got to apply, and they turn away 95% of people. Why? They create scarcity and they make it a huge thing for you to go. I want to work with people who want to better themselves and look and work for themselves. I want to connect people who are serious about taking their health seriously. Does that mean they have to live a perfect life all the time? No, it means that they're naturally have a healthy mindset. They're naturally optimistic. They're naturally looking for good energy. They're naturally willing to talk with their family and talk to their partners. They're naturally willing to take responsibility for their health, because I can't heal you. Josh can't heal you. No one can change you but you. No one in this world can change you but you. We can just talk to you and hopefully create enough inspiration in your head to get you to take an action. That's all this is about. So that's how they can find me. Crohn's Colitis Lifestyle or social media. Dane Johnson 1 is my Instagram, or Facebook.com/Crohn's Colitis Lifestyle. We have a lot of great blogs. We have a lot of good ebooks. And then I do private consulting, which is be changed out to the online program. We'll be taking on this year 100 people to work with. That's going to be our first trial. So it's only 100 people who are going to gain access. And they're going to have videos, community, coaches, success stories, people who've been done as a vegetarian or done it as paleo or done it from London or done it from Asia. So we're going to be really connecting people, and I call it college for Crohn's. So
Very cool.
really empowering people. And what I'm so excited about in this health community, guys, is, I grew up eating Papa John's, and this is not about the fear of disease. This is about the empowerment of life. I'm 31 years old, and I'm in the best shape of my life. I feel like I look the best. I'm excited about 32. I'm excited for 42. I'm excited for 92. Because I'm doing the things that empower me. Life will move on, but I know I'm doing things that make me happy. And I think you guys can too. And you'll be excited about your diet, not your diet, your nutritional plan. You'll be excited about the life you can lead.
This is great. So let's wrap up here. And I want to give some simple steps. Actually, I don't want to. I want you to give a few simple steps. You've kind of dripped a couple along the way, or a bunch along the way, right?
On tangents.
Hey, I love, but this is what makes these conversations so valuable to the world. Is we want people like you to share, because it connect. I mean, the energy, right? The content, the connection that we create like this has a possibility to have this amazing ripple effect, which we need. Right? The world needs this ripple effect. It's a sick, diseased, dying world that needs to be saved from itself, right? Not from something else, from itself.
Yeah, from the people in it. Yeah, and it's one thing I love about giving is it's so selfish.
Yeah,
people don't realize how selfish giving is.
Yeah.
When people say, "How did you become so?" If you make $10 million a year, that just means you're extremely valuable. How did you become so valuable? By helping other people. No one made $10 million a year by just helping themselves. They made $10 a year by helping people. If you want to better your life, better someone else's life. That's the most beautiful universal law. I call them universal laws. They're true no matter what. I just love it, because the more you do just for yourself, the more you're going to feel empty, the more you're going to feel alone, the more you'll probably make less money, the less, the worse your marriage will do, the less connection you'll have with your kids, the less your community will care to invite you to parties. I mean, everything starts going down when you don't give.
Yeah.
When you give energy, it really comes back tenfold. It's like the circle of the earth. It goes there and comes right back around to a higher boomerang effect, a higher intensity. And I know that this year, if I can help you listening and all you guys out there, that in turn will help me. And that's what he's saying. And I love what you're saying that.
Yeah. So you just gave one. I want to give 3 gold nuggets. First one was giving, right? Is give back.
Today's day one of detoxing, going hard in life. So I'm a big talker.
Yeah.
So
I love it. Well, welcome to the club here, right? Okay. So the first nugget that we want people to know is they need to be able to give, right? Give back.
Yes.
Whether it's to a church or to their life, to a friend, to whoever it may be. So that's go for it.
That's one. Let me give an example of that. If you're wondering what to give back, just call one person each day and tell them what you're thankful for about them, or call one person in your closest community that you want to invest your time into. Because there's probably you guys are probably thinking, there's certain people I need to get away from. There's certain people I need to get closer to. The people you need to get closer to, call them and help them solve their problem. If they ask you how you're doing, you tell them what's good and you make it about them. It's real simple. Just call up your people. Even if you're dying of Crohn's right now, call up somebody and tell them what you're grateful for and tell them how they can help solve their issues, and watch as your anxiety and your depression starts bleeding away.
Awesome. So nugget one. What's nugget two?
One. Yep.
Let's get the second one. We got two more.
Positivity creates positivity. This is one of my favorites as well. If you bring a negative energy to an environment, it will create a negative energy. Case in point, nobody, even assholes, don't want to be around other assholes. Mm-hmm. No one wants to be around assholes. No one wants to be around jackasses. No one wants to be around that type of person. When you decide to come at it from a positive standpoint, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when your own energy will turn around. So if you're wondering how to get out of there, you have to start with just a positive perspective. That could be an exercise. Go make a playlist for yourself, meditation, talking to your people with the gratefulness. I know that's broad. I hope I'll make my next nugget, try to make it a little more specific.
But positive is good, man. You got to
positivity. Positivity. Negativity creates negativity. if you want to change, you just everything, your home environment, everything you see should be uplifting. Everything. Okay, and then third nugget. Let's see. A third nugget. I would say that failing. I would say that there is no such thing as failure unless you quit, is a big one. No matter what you want to accomplish, how big you want to be, how strong, how whatever, every time you take an action, it gives you information. Don't see it as a win or loss necessarily. See it as information. If you try a healing program and it doesn't work perfectly, I guarantee you're still going to get information back. If you try this certain type of meal and it causes symptoms, that's information. You can knock that off your list. If you work out a certain way and you get tired and it has a negative reaction, you can knock that off your list. Failure is information. So what you need more than anything is not another over-analysis of something. What you need is information. And the only way you're going to get information is by taking action. So the third nugget would be think less, do more.
Think less, do more, and learn from the positive and the negative.
Just write it out. I think one of the biggest value adds, my biggest sword has been like the journaling, my daily journal. And if you guys want it, you can email me info@CrohnsColitisLifestyle.com. My assistant will send you a copy of our PDF daily journal. It's the journal I use for eventually 170 days to heal myself the second time. But when you get it out of your head and you write it down, it is such a huge value because you could have 3 problems and in your head they turn into 20 because you say them to yourself in 5 different ways. And you're like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Okay, put it on paper, see it for what it is, and make it simple. So if it's a food, if it's a daily program, if it's goals, get it on paper. I can't stress enough, get it on paper. First thing you should do after you listen to this, get a pen, paper, crayon, write it on your damn wall, whatever. Just write down what the problem is or what the solution is or what action you're going to take, and you've already started the manifestation process. The first process in manifestation is to think it. The second is to take an action, and the take an action, writing is taking an action. You'll be surprised. I was looking at my 2017 goals this morning. I called up my buddy, my digital marketing strategist is in town, and we're doing some ads and stuff, and I pulled up my 2017 list and I go, look at this, man. I've hit 80% of every goal I put out here. Last year, we were in Nicaragua on a surf trip. So I was healed in Nicaragua with 2 of my best friends, and we were doing surfing twice a day at a surfing lodge in Central America. And we wrote out our goals, and I pulled it up, and I had hit 80, but I had blown out some of my goals out of the water. I didn't set them high enough, And it was just like, and it was almost like, man, when I wrote this down, it became that much more real. So write it down. It'll get it out of your head. Okay. That's negative energy, all that overanalyzation.
Very cool. So everybody, Dane Johnson, dude, thank you so much. This was a killer interview.
That's right. Street fighters.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah.
Well,
yep. So thanks, Josh. I'm excited to be here. This is great. I look forward to working with you more. Anyone who's got Crohn's colitis, again, CrohnsColitisLifestyle.com. You can get my free 6 tips to healing ebook right there on the front page. You can set up a strategy session if you're in desperate need for consulting. We have more ebooks coming, lots of good stuff, lots of products that we feel are really going to help people get past that. And if you guys want to follow what I do, I usually post on Instagram, even though I'm not really big into that kind of social vanity. As a lot of
it's all right. It's good stuff though, man. Sharing content's good, and you're doing a good job at it. So
yeah, exactly.
Appreciate you.
Yep, you too, Josh. All right, well, thanks so much, man. Take care.
So Locker Nation, how awesome was Dane Johnson? I hope you really did appreciate that story. It's pretty impressive. It's pretty powerful, right? So you're going to be able to connect with him. Everything is going to be on the website, lifestylelocker.com/Dane Johnson. You're going to get all his details there, his YouTube story, his connection to his website, and all of the details you could possibly want. Make sure you go ahead on iTunes and click the subscribe button for Lifestyle Locker Radio and download most recent episodes and start to go back if you've just started. Also want to make sure you give us a 5-star review. Go ahead and do that. It will make us very happy. Our listeners are telling us they love it. We just want more reviews to show it. Thank you so much. We'll see y'all in the healthy lifestyle world. Peace out. Bye-bye.